What's going on, guys? Zera back with another CigarCast. You know, sometimes you can be just completely... Sometimes you can be a blissful idiot. You know that? I am so lucky. I'm so blessed. I'm going to warn you guys right now, if seeing a full-grown man shed tears is something you can't handle, then turn the video off right now. I'm not talking about booger bubbles or, you know, stuff like that, or blubber and mess, but there will be tears. And I will probably get choked up a couple times at least. A good dear friend of mine and my brother's, someone we've known for years, ever since the days of vanilla. I just found out that he passed away this week. My brother just texted me and told me. I called him to find out if there were funeral arrangements yet. We don't know the dates for anything like that, the viewing or the funeral arrangements. And obviously I'm not going to disclose this person's real name, but in the world of Azeroth, we knew him as Night Demon. And Demon was spelled D-E-A-M-O-N. And Night was, of course, spelled N-I-G-H-T. So, unlike previous cigar casts, this is a full-on Vegas 5 Gold. It's the largest cigar I've got in my arsenal. Because my boy, Night, I'm dedicating this to you, Bubba. I'm dedicating this to you. Because you battled severe diabetes almost all your life. In fact, perhaps all of your life. And your wife and your 4 kids, bro, they're going to be way better off for how hard you fought. Even in immense pain, you fought through it. So for this, bro, this is the least I could do for you, Bubba. All the fun we had, all the endless hours of content we delved into together, all the walkthroughs and guides we made together, all those times that we went transmog hunting together and mount hunting together, this is for you, bro. I remember the first time I met him. We were, I think we were in Western Plaguelands. We were in that graveyard just east of Chilwyn Point. I can't remember what the name of that graveyard area is, where all the undead were. Something Hill. Sorrow Hill, that's what it was. Sorrow Hill. My brother and I were farming for rune cloth. Tommy rolled up. Wasn't supposed to say his name. Cat's out of the bag now, right? Tommy rolled up. It was leveling a hunter. God rest his soul. Poor guy. It was playing a hunter because my brother had met him at work, and Tommy, I remember, asked him once upon a time. He said, "Hey, what's the best class to play?" And of course, my brother came home and asked me what I thought, my opinion. I'd never met him in person at this point. And then I told him, I was like, well, if he wants the easiest way to level, Hunter or Warlock's gonna be his best bet. And wouldn't you know, me and my brother both play Warlock. So we basically just, offered him, we gave him a brief description of what every class was capable of and what their play style was, what the meta was. And then we told him what our class was and why they were the two best classes to level. And even to this day, they're the two best. No question about it. Come to find out, he decided to go with Hunter. He was like, I don't know, 50, 51, 52, I think at the time, and he rolls up into Western Play class. Oh, man. And we basically helped grind him all the way to 60. Of course, this was like towards the very tail end of Vanilla. This was like after Nax had released. Our guild had kind of started falling apart a little bit after AQ40, so we didn't even attempt Nax. Because everybody knew TBC was coming out, and there was talks of merging and whatnot. Of course, everybody knew what that meant. Mergers basically spelled the death of a guild. It almost never works, especially back then when you didn't have things like Discord or, instant messenger and all that good stuff, Skype. But not Tommy. Me, him, and my brother, we rolled into TBC together. I mean, the three of us were attached at the hip, man. We did so much together. And I remember all the way through TBC, once we got to level 70, he was still playing the Hunter, and he was like, "Hey bro, you're really, really good in PvP. How do you kite? Like, how do you kite players so well?" So my brother got on his Paladin, because Paladins were the hardest thing for us to kite in TBC. I mean, it was by far and away, like, no joke. They had Blessing of Freedom, they had Bop, they had Divine Shield, they had so many goodies to get them out of, and plus they had, they could cleanse Viper Stain, they could do basically everything you wanted. So, and my brother was really good with that Paladin. So, we went on the coast of Elwyn Forest, right across the river from Duskwood, and I literally kited my brother in duels up and down that coast just to show Tommy how to do it and teach him 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 and teach him. And he got better. He got really good at kiting. I was very proud of him. Very, very proud of him. Our relationship just kind of blossomed after that, man. I finally got to meet him in person a couple of times when my brother was at work. We hung out in person. I met his wife and kids at one point. And our relationship blossomed, man, over the years. When I was in the Navy, Tommy was always online, dude. It seemed. His health started diminishing at this point, and he started spending a lot more time at home playing WoW. And, I love spending time with him. We'd hang out online almost as much, if not more, than I hung out with my brother. Because it was the only way I could, hang out with my family and my friends was through WoW. Next thing you know, we're doing transmog runs. It's like Kata or something, and we're running through all the TBC content, getting all the TBC gear, like all the gladiator sets from TBC, like Demon Stalker, Rift Stalker, what was it? Grand Stalker, all that good stuff. It was just a lot of fun, dude. It was a lot of fun. Can't believe he's gone. If you're up there, Tommy, wherever you are, buddy, I'm gonna miss you, bro. You know, a lot of people like to crack jokes and make fun of people who play online games. And they're like, how in the world can you make friends with people you hardly ever see, if you ever see them? And I kind of just shake my head, you know, like, how do you have the right to judge somebody based on how they got to know somebody, how they befriended somebody? Number one, how is that any of your business? And number two, why does it matter? Isn't the whole point of creating friendships the journey of creating the friendship? Like, why would you mock that? Why? I mean, you look at all these movies, these romantic comedies or bro-coms or whatever you want to call them, that spell out all these relationships that Hollywood, you know, spews out on the big screen, and you're like, 99% of them have some of the most outlandish, like, initial greetings or first impressions that you're like, there's no way that happens in real life. And you know what? You're wrong. There are some crazy stories about how people meet. And believe you me, meeting through an online game or meeting in real life, but having the online game be your passion and be the one thing that you both have an interest in, being the gateway to opening that friendship and beginning that friendship, come on, man, that's nothing to snark at. Hell, there have been people who've gotten married in World of Warcraft. There are people right now creating content as a married couple based on World of Warcraft. Like, you don't have any right to mock them for that. And it doesn't make my pain or my brother's pain any less significant because we met him online and we befriended him mostly online. We spent most of our time with him online. I've always considered, my brother called me in the morning right after I got off work. It was like between 6 and 7 a.m. It was like, hey, this happened. I thought you should know. And I was silent, man. I mean, I'm talking stone cold silent. I didn't say a word. I don't even know. I didn't talk for so long. My brother had to like acknowledge me, like, dude, are you still there? Like, I was stunned, man. That's my boy. And what sucks, man, what hurts so bad. Oh, this hurts so bad. I was just home. I was just home last week. Man. And I could have made the trip, you know, 2 or 3 towns over to go see him. And it didn't even dawn on me, man. God, I'm such a selfish bastard. I should have went and saw him, man. We could have had one more LAN party, dude. One last hoorah. One more Mythic Plus. You know? One more Transmog run. One more Mount run. One more BG. Hell. Screw it, dude. Let's just go to Goldshire and Lions Pride Inn and just hang out. Friendships, man. Friendships are hard to come by. Makes you wonder why all these big name streamers, not even streamers. I'm talking solely about the issue between Asmongold and T&E. Man, what seriously? Come on. I don't care where you come from or what you're about, but anybody who has to go online and just be negative, not necessarily nasty, not necessarily hateful, not necessarily spiteful or shameful or whatever, just any kind of negative. I mean, the smallest amount of negativity towards another individual, especially another individual who's doing online content much like yourself, regardless if it's through Twitch or through YouTube or any form of content creation of any shape, form, fashion, sense of the word. Why? If you have an opinion, that's cool, and you should have every right to share your opinion about the content, not the person, man. The world is full of enough hate and despair and agony and hurt and anguish. Like, I just lost my dear friend of mine. Okay? I just lost a friend of 15 years that I spent countless hours with. Okay? Whether it was in Azeroth, real life, other video games. We played Age of Empires together. We played Red Alert together. We played Final Fantasy together. Seriously, there's that kind of hurt in the world. And somebody, just anybody, not just any one individual. I'm not singling anybody out. I'm just saying, period, end of discussion. Anybody who wants to point a finger at somebody and say, I don't like you because of X, Y, Z. Seriously. Why? How hard is it to just be quiet about your feelings towards another individual? Regardless of what they do or what they say or how they act. If they're not attacking you, shut your mouth. Just let it go. And even if they do attack you, be the bigger person. Don't take it personal. Because you know what? Honest to God, what somebody says about you, you can't control. You shouldn't. My father once told me a long time ago, wise man, my father, wisest man I've ever known. You know, outside of those red letters in the good book, wisest words I've ever heard in my life came out of my father's mouth. And he once told me, son, you cannot control, nor can you truly impact an individual when they say or do negative things about you, towards you, around you, whatever. So you know what you can do? You can make sure you do your best to be the bigger man and simply walk away from the situation. Now, if you have to defend yourself, then defend yourself. But if it's not 150% like an outright threat against you or anything like that, or what you stand for or what you believe in, if it's just a hateful spat off the mouth about just you as an individual, don't waste your time and energy worrying about it. I mean, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And it's times like this when I'm reminded, why can't we all just get along? I'm not talking about some peace and love nonsense. I just mean, why can't I just live my life and do what I believe in and follow my path and make my own choices? And by my own choices, I make my own path in life. And regardless if it's good, bad, or somewhere in the middle, I made those choices. I made those decisions that got me to where I was going. Who gives a diddly twiddly twat about what somebody else 100,000 miles away from you. Because I don't care if they're 5 miles, 10 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles. It doesn't matter. They're not you, so they might as well be a million miles away. They don't have your experiences. They don't have your exposure. They don't have the joys, the sorrows, the trauma. Outright, just do not, have not, ever, will never be in your shoes except you. Only you can control your destiny. Only you can set the sails either up or down. And whether or not you set your sails up or down completely depends on which direction the wind is blowing. And if you notice the wind is blowing in the direction that you want to go, then you're going to get your butt out of the rack at 2 in the morning. You're going to go up, you're going to set the sails up, and you are going to tally-ho, full speed ahead. And when you see the winds are blowing in the wrong direction, I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you've got a whole bunch of things that you want to do. You're going to stop what you're doing. You're going to lower the mast. You're going to drop the anchor, and you're going to come to a full stop. I'm sorry. All ahead back. I mean, it's all back full, rather. Not all ahead back. That's freaking... God, I've been out of the Navy too long. Oh, God. You know, I don't know, man. I'm just ranting right now. I'm doing anything I can to keep my mind off the hurt right now. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, dude. Thank you for all the wonderful memories, the great laughs, the countless times the countless times I had to come rescue your butt from getting ganked. Oh man, all the times we would roll 1 to 100 for a piece of transmog because we were both hunters, man. And all those times he'd beat me 100 to 99, man. I'd roll a 99, I'd be like, yeah, I got it, man. Ain't no way. Backslash roll. Night Demon rolls 100. Oh my God. Oh man. All the theory crafts we did during every expansion pre-patch. Gives you perspective, man. Life is too short, dudes and dudettes. Life is too short. Why waste your time or energy being negative about something or someone? If you have your opinions about something, that's great. You should have an opinion. You should have an informed opinion. Don't just spat off at the mouth because somebody else said it and you heard it and you thought it sounded cool, or because there's some hype train behind that opinion and you want to get on it because you want to get the exposure. You want to be part of that. You want to taste that exposure. No. Have your own informed opinion. Look at it from both sides of the spectrum and say, you know what? Let me put myself in this person's shoes. Let me put myself in this person's shoes. And actually look at what they're actually talking about. Let me look and see what history says about that opinion, about that position, and then you can make an informed opinion. Because contrary to what a lot of people want to think, especially a lot of high school teachers and college professors, history is still and will always be our #1 best teacher. Regardless of how much they want to take out of the history books, omit from the history books, chapters they want to skip in the history books, whatever the heck you want to call it. I had a professor one time tell me to get up and get out of the classroom because I made a actual, factual, detailed description out loud to the classroom, explaining to him why he was wrong. And he was like, well, if you think you're so much smarter than me, then just get your books and get out. I was like, Professor, with all due respect, I'm not smarter than you. I'm never going to claim that. Because I don't know what you know, dude. I don't. I don't know if you are just refusing what I'm saying because you don't like it, or maybe you were taught wrong, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'm smarter than you. What it means is that you simply don't like what I said, or you are somewhere in the back of your mind, you have the facts differently. But all I'm simply doing is I'm revealing the text, what it says. And believe you me, I've read the same text across, at this point, I was in college, and I was in the Navy, and I had military history. Believe you me, I know everything about every war that ever happened of any branch, period, end of discussion. Like, all the major battles, all the generals, all the colonels, all the majors, everything. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm not smarter than you. I'm not going to claim that. I'm not going to say I'm better than you. That's not what this conversation is about. This conversation is about the facts. Now, if you want to reject the facts, that's you. That's all on you. But if you want to single me out because I made you, quote-unquote, look bad because I spoke the facts that you want to refute, even though they're right here in the text, then by all means, I will gladly grab my books, and I will shake your hand, and I will walk out that door, and I won't come back. Because if this is the kind of classroom environment you're going to breed, rejecting the outright truth and the facts that are right here in the text, and across multiple other texts in the history of humankind since the days of the printing press, come on, man. I ain't with that, man. And sure enough, I did too. I did too. And I remember the entire classroom stood up like the next day when I walked into class, and they're like, what are you doing here? And I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I know what I know, and I know what I know to be my opinion. I know what I know to be factual, evidential, never going to change, never going to shake, never going to come undone or unglued. But I had a conversation with somebody who disagreed with me in a respectful, informed, and absolute positive manner. In no way was it negative. And you know what? The next day, the professor looked at me, had this really scold look on his face. He's like, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm here to learn, man. I thought you said you didn't agree with me. I didn't say that. I never said I didn't agree with you. I simply said that my opinion, my thoughts, my soul, what makes me up as an individual, my journey as a child through grade school, middle school, junior high, high school, the military, my journey in life has led me to this specific point. All the information that I've gathered, whether factual or opinion, is mine and mine alone. I simply shared a factual statement from the text that you did not like to hear. I can't control that. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to let your disgruntled attitude prevent me from furthering my success and my ability to be successful in the future by dropping this course and inevitably having to repeat it later. I mean, like, that's just common sense. That's just the logical thing to do. Yes, I was a little hasty in saying, you know what, I'm just not going to come back to this class because if that's how it's going to be, that's how it's going to be. I thought about it that night, and I did go to him before class the next day and apologize for making that statement because it made it sound like it was undermining him, but that wasn't what I was trying to say. All I was trying to say is I want facts. When you're in a classroom, I expect facts to be presented. It's like in all of it's why I love my IT classes, because in the world of IT, I'm sorry, 11011 is going to be 11011. And no matter what you do in any kind of form of binary, 11011 is going to be 11011. I'm sorry, that's just not going to change. It's just like in the field of mathematics, 2 squared is going to equal 4 no matter what you do. I'm sorry. Like, 4, square root of 4 is always going to be 2. I don't know. Like, that is the world that we live in. If it's not numbers, then apparently the facts can change. I don't know. I don't know where I got on this rant, but all it proves is that nobody's infallible. We all make mistakes. But I do everything I can to not go out of my way and be negative online to anybody. I don't see the point. Even if that person is being nasty to you, or if someone is trying to steal your ideas, something I've been accused of in the past. I don't know. It just, there's enough bad shit in this world. Pardon my French. I don't cuss on my channel almost ever, but there's enough of that stuff in this world to where you might want to rethink your position on some things, at least to the point to where it's going to drive you to open your mouth and say something you probably shouldn't say. Sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut, man. I just think that's the best advice. That's one of the best things my dad ever told me. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just... Sometimes it's just the best thing we can do. So, anyway, I'm going to smoke this cigar, boys. I'm going to smoke it down to the nub, but I don't know if I've got anything else to say, guys. I miss Tommy. I miss him. And I'm going to continue to miss him. But you know what? If I needed a motivating factor right now to push me into Classic, as if I didn't have one already, as if I didn't have one already, this is going to be it. You know what? I found out last night that that we're going to be allowed to reserve 3 names on a server when the name reservations come out. So you know what? For Tommy, the name Night Demon, spelled Nightdaemon. That's going to be the first name that I create on the server. Whatever server I end up on. I'm not even going to go for my name first. I'm going to go for his. And if it turns out that his is the only name I get to have, then I'll do it for him. I'll always be Zera. But I love him. He's my boy. He'll always be up here. And he'll always be right here. For you, Bubba. Rest well, my friend. Rest well. Down to the nub, boys. Anyway, I'm gonna light this puppy back up. I'm gonna enjoy this last bit of smoke and solace. But with that, guys, I'm gonna light this up, say goodbye, and I'll see y'all on the stream later today. All right? Let's do this one last time, one last puff. All right, fellas. See you later.